Coach, you got Rollins this week, and one of the big things that stands out from them is obviously their performance behind the arc. How do you contain a team like that just has so many options from that area?
Yeah, they're very difficult to guard, and they're throwing the fact that they got a 7-footer down there who's big and strong, and he just had a monster game this last weekend against Florida Southern, and so you got it's really a double-edged sword. You get too much help down on the big, then it opens up for those guys. You put too much pressure out in the perimeter and you don't help down, they're going to get easy buckets down low. So guys got to be good individual defenders for certain. You got to keep them in front of you so there's not drive and kick opportunities, and you got to be able to contain the catches of Silvera, their 7-footer, keep them off the block, keep the high, off the lobs, and keep them off the glass.
And one thing you were mentioning there is the defense is important. Something that Rollins kind of struggles with is they have a high amount of turnovers per game. Anywhere from 15 to 17 is where they usually end up. Is that going to be a key difference maker in this game for you guys, is closing down on them and then getting those points off turnovers and causing just immense defense to put pressure on them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the turnover margin isn't going to be a big thing. That we have to take care of the ball. We haven't seen a team, they're not a high-pressure team. They're a zone team. They're playing zone 98, 99% of the time. They've been that way forever. But with what they do, it's unique. There's sometimes guys will stand around, hold the ball, those sort of turnovers. You got to make sure the old camp, fake a pass to make a pass for certain. But you got to be strong with the ball. You got to be able to finish inside of the zone. You can't live and die with all threes. You got to move them. But yes, on the flip side, you got to get up into them a little bit there and make them have to make a play under duress.
And another thing with this team is they love to keep games close. They have an average of a one-possession game towards the end. Are you stressing to your players that ball efficiency and control of the ball is extremely important? Because when you have a team like that can shoot, at the end, one turnover or something could really make the difference with either losing a game or possibly even extending a game even further past.
Yeah, for certain it's going to be. It's very typical of this league. I mean, outside of Nova's games with everyone else in the league, typically the last 4 minutes inside the last media timeouts, most teams are within, 1 or 2 possession, maybe a 3-possession game. Very seldom you're seeing blowouts there. It happens, it does. But there's a lot of parity in this league. And then as you get into leagues, teams know each other. So that tightens up, that closes the gaps on each other. So, of course we want to have more than a 1-possession lead at late game, but that requires a lot of things to go our way. We got to create some of that. You got to create those dynamics. You got to dictate to the other team on both sides of the ball. They're a very good team there. I think they were picked 2nd or 3rd in the league. They had a little bit of a slow start, but I can see they're gaining a lot of momentum. They got two of the best paired together in Marion and Hutton, and those guys are very, very good players. They have great role players around them, and it's a tough out for everybody. And this league is compacted. There's 2 games that separate 6 or 7 teams. There's 3 games that separate 8 or 9 teams right now in the league. So you're going to see a lot of energy and a lot of big games every night, and this is certainly one of them for both teams.
And something that's noticeable when looking at both teams is you guys are both generally about the same level when it comes to the boards. Is battle of the board something that could really determine this game if one gets the edge over the other?
Yeah, we've been inconsistent with that. Our defensive rebounding has for certain. With Santia been out 6 weeks now, and he's one of the best rebounders in the league. Let alone us, that has definitely hurt us. But it's not an excuse. You gotta regroup. We have to be consistent with being able to get defensive rebounds, finish your stops. We talk about finishing our stops. It's big for us for certain.